deep down inside, you know you're nothing. You're empty, hollow vessels picking at table scraps. This space has to grow up. How can we assert we're the inheritors of the economic, political, and social systems of the world when we embrace such base chicanery and nonsense? When we step aside from basic notions of human dignity, when we dehumanize every single person, but yet we're the ones who are going to transform society. You say it so you can launch a token and dump on some unsuspecting person. And then you go and complain when the government regulates you. How are you any different from the carnival barkers of the 19th century? Shame on all of you. Honestly, shame.
Charles, pretty upset here, and for good reason. I mean, a lot of people are trying to make it sound like he stole $600 million worth of ADA, and I don't think that's even the question here, but I don't think his hands are totally clean. We're going to get into it. We got some big news from the XRP ecosystem. Swede just absolutely dominating, big ground-shaking developments there, and just a lot going on. Let's jump right in. The first breaking news here, XRP Futures ETFs outpace Ethereum on day one. CME's XRP Futures ETF hit nearly 6 million in its first day of trading. Institutional demand, yeah, it's for real. XRP Futures outshining Ethereum. Now remember this, Ethereum also has a spot ETF, so a lot of your demand is going to go there, but it's a good first day, and XRP is on CME, the top dog, the real commodities market here. The momentum, it's undeniable. XRP is rising. Wall Street is watching. Will XRP be the next ETF approved? I think likely, but it doesn't need to be. It will be approved, and that's what matters ultimately. Spot ETF approval. Most people are saying, look, it's only a matter of time. It's just going to take some time, but we're going to see a wave of altcoins get approved. XRP will be one of them. Bill Morgan saying the following about BitMEX, and big news I haven't covered yet, but they're going to be supporting RLUSD, but more importantly, it'll be both the Ethereum and the XRP Ledger version. That's big. A lot of these have been Ethereum only. Out the gates, BitMEX is going to support both versions. Further, XRP can be added to the exchange's multi-asset margining, so you can have just XRP, RLUSD, you can have Bitcoin in there, and it's all going to count as collateral pulled into one total for your account. And the margin is calculated based on the net risk exposure across all of those positions, not just one of them. This is powerful. This will make both RLUSD a popular stablecoin to hold, XRP a popular crypto to hold on that exchange. This is really good support, actually. And it's good to see an exchange out the gates supporting both versions. I think if we get liquidity there, easy access, people are going to use RLUSD. It's lightning fast, it's cheap, it's easy to transfer value around. You just need to have that be meaningful for on-chain trading, which I think we're going to see grow in a big way, and also off-ramps. So your exchanges, we need liquidity and support there. BitMEX stepping up in a big way. You have it on Ethereum, you have it on XRP Ledger, and that's what's going to make it a multi-chain powerhouse here. Just then, SEC delays XRP ETF submitted by 21 shares. Just the way I see it playing out here. I think we're going to continue to see a delay, and then you will see BlackRock and Fidelity enter the broader, altcoin space, and then it's going to be go time. And it's probably actually when the SEC says it's go time, that's when you'll see them enter. I could be wrong. They may not be interested. Maybe they just want Bitcoin and Ethereum, but I doubt it. Why would they concede an emerging market like this? I think you'll see them enter soon enough, and then you'll know the time is near. Singapore, XSGD, stablecoin launches on the XRP Ledger. This is a big deal here. MAS regulated. This Singapore dollar going live on the XRP Ledger, targeting low-cost, real-time cross-border payments. Already over 8 billion in transactions to date, now expanding to be multi-chain. And we need more interesting assets, more stable coins, more value coming on the XRP Ledger, because that's just going to incentivize more transactions, more trading, more value. This is what we want. We want more builders, more assets, really more action happening on the XRP ledger. It's starting. Just in, SEC commissioner, former commissioner, current chair Paul Atkins criticizes the agency's approach as hostile and unclear, urging it to embrace innovation instead of stifling it. I think they're really laying their case out here, specifically for that Ripple court case, to be able to go to the judge and say, look, this was the wrong approach. This was not looking at this asset class correctly. This is why we need to get that injunction out of here, because the way we're approaching crypto now, Ripple should be free to operate just like everyone else. You're going to harm them, investors, users, everyone, if you leave that injunction there. They're doing the groundwork. We saw Hester Peirce do the same here recently, and that's what they're doing, laying out their framework for this space. Partially just because they need to do so for crypto in general, but also I think it will be favorable in that Ripple court case as well. Now let's talk about this here with Charles. 600 million ADA, dollars worth of ADA, moved quietly, not stolen, at least from what I've seen, what I've been able to figure out here, but not disclosed here. Charles is saying, well, it's just a cleanup, a fix for legacy redemptions, but the issue isn't really where did the ADA go and what was it used for. It's this fact. The Genesis keys still worked in 2021. This we knew. We heard it a million times. When that was no longer the case, 2024, you remember, Charles did a live stream. The Genesis keys are dead. Okay, great. But did you know they were used? Did you know the Genesis keys were used in 2021 to move $600 million worth of ADA? Charles does daily, hourly, minutely live streams to let you know about every little minute detail going on with Cardano and the world and politics and everything else. And he never mentioned that he busted out, or someone within, the small group of people busted out Genesis keys and moved a bunch of ADA. Do you think that's an accident? Because this is the thing. People said, well, the Genesis keys exist, and that was always a drag on XRP or Cardano, the ADA token. It's perceived value. It's perceived decentralization. If even for good reason, if they disclosed, hey, we just use those Genesis keys, what do you think it would do? It would cause an uproar. So they decided, you know what? Let's keep that on the DL. Let's just do the transaction and just not bring it up. And that's a problem. It's about trust. Anything you're doing financial related like this, disclosures are what's important. Disclosures are what matters. And they didn't forget to tell you they did this. They didn't want you to know. They hid this from you. They obscured it from you on purpose. So hopefully you wouldn't see that and downgrade your opinion on ADA. And now it's coming back to bite him, and he's going to have to deal with this. We see a statement here. I'm absolutely disgusted by the conduct of crypto media, and to a great degree, I can see that. Again, they're framing this as if he stole money or misappropriated funds, and I don't think that's the case at all. Any sensible or objective fair reporting has been thrown out the window. Now, again, he can go after the press. He can go after this person, that person, but really he should just clearly explain what happened, which he's done to some extent, and then take fault where we should have disclosed that and we didn't. He knows good and well what he did here. The facts are every person connected to the ADA voucher redemption has publicly stated there's no fraud, no allegations came from any law enforcement, regulatory body, lawsuit, or buyer. The person alleging misconduct has no connection or inside information of the sales process. That's not the point, though. And I heard him bring up the point, I paid for the development and the launch of Cardano. That's all well and good. But as soon as you become a public good, a public blockchain, it's no longer your little play toy anymore. You can imagine what would happen in 2021 if all of a sudden Jeb McCaleb, whipped out some Genesis keys and started moving XRP around, even for good reason. Like, that would cause panic, that would cause alarm, but it would need to be disclosed. You wouldn't, however many years later, go, oh, well, not a big deal. Jed was just doing whatever he wanted to do. Whether, Cardano is here because of Charles, I think we understand that. Whether he funded the beginning, as soon as it becomes a public blockchain, a public good, people need to have the real-time information. We see this kind of stuff in stocks. Why? Because CEOs go to jail. If they omitted something like this, they'd be in a lot of trouble. We don't have those same rules and protections in crypto, and you see kind of why we probably need them. And this specific thing is not probably a big deal. He took funds, put them where they need to go, said, I don't want to cause FUD, so I won't bring it up. But what else don't we know about? What's done in the shadows? It just brings up doubt, and for good reason. This is too late to be bringing this up. It should have been brought up before, and now it's time for him to own that, I think, to some degree. Now, again, it's wrong if people are trying to make it sound like he stole money, because in my opinion, from what I've seen and read and been able to gather, that's not even in the realm of reality. I don't think he stole anything. It's just a fact of not telling the public something you know would be uncomfortable to talk about, and that is problematic. I don't care what anyone says. Good morning, crypto. Just in. More Americans now own Bitcoin than gold. That's a turning point, I feel. I think it is. What do you think? Amit saying around 40% of institutional investors are now underweight on U.S. equities per Bank of America research. I've been talking about this. We've had this big rally, this big recovery, and a lot of people are on the outside looking at, not great values compared to where they exited it. It's a problem. And either institutions will eventually become equal or overweight equities as they chase, or this thing's going to run out of legs and fall apart. We're going to see who's right, the buyers or the people that were standing back saying, you know what, things are worse than anyone wants to admit. But this could lead to just people saying, I can't wait any longer. I got to flood into this market. We'll have to see. Texas just passed their own strategic Bitcoin reserve bill. This will allow the state to start investing in Bitcoin. The 8th largest economy in the world will now be allowed to buy Bitcoin. Bullish. And it's going to extend from there as well. They're not going to be buying like coin number 1,000, but your top cryptocurrencies, your top 20, something like that, they'll be basket products. You will see investments hit the altcoin space as well as we go forward. Now, Coin Bureau saying Swiss crushing it. 48.4 billion index volume this year, more than Avalanche, Polygon, Optimism, and Ton combined. That's huge. But this is the big news of the day. Microsoft integrates space and time for real-time blockchain data. Why did SWI make the cut and not Sol? So we're going to get into that. But, Microsoft understands blockchain's big business, and blockchain data is going to be a big deal. That's why they're jumping in here. Not because they're, crypto bros. They see the future. There's going to be demand there and money to be made. And that's what they're doing. This is very real. This isn't some nonsense here. But here's the truth here. SWI's architecture, enterprise grade speed and data structure. It's built on Move, clean parallel processing. Solana, DeFi native, high throughput, but messy for analytics. That's what this is about. It's about blockchain analytics. So I think SWI's an easier integration as well. But it's not favoritism, it's strategy. Microsoft, it doesn't choose based on hype. They're not just going to choose something because it's popular. They choose based on who shows up enterprise ready. Follow the money, follow the partnerships. SWI wants the crown for business adoption. And this is a big move on the chessboard. Now, I also put it up here. This is probably true. I don't know this. But I bet you SWI paid for this also likely. I don't know. Maybe not, though. Maybe it's just because it's enterprise ready. Let me know what you think down below. As always, please like, please subscribe. The revolution will be televised right here on Jungle Link.